Because when you share a story, you create that emotional charge. Great speakers use stories, and so should you. Hi, and welcome to the Speaking Hub, the place to be to build strong communication and presentation skills that last. Today I'm talking about storytelling, and obviously this is a very, very important topic in public speaking. If you want to connect with your audience, if you want to be engaging, you need to talk with stories. And maybe you have this relationship to the stories where you think that stories are only for children, they are just for entertainment, they are for fun. I'm going to a very serious business meeting and I should not be sharing stories. Well, that is all entirely wrong. And you will notice that all of the best speakers actually use storytelling. And honestly, the more serious your speech is, the more you need a story, because people cannot keep listening to very complicated data and facts for too long. You need to be able to engage with them and to deliver information and data and numbers in a very easy to digest way. And here's where storytelling can help you immensely. So let me show you a few clips from the speeches of some great speakers so that you can see that they actually also use lots of stories in their speaking.
Is that everywhere I go now, people treat me like I'm doomed. Seriously, doomed. Like, they come up to me now like all worried and they say, aren't you afraid? Aren't you afraid you're never going to be able to top that? Aren't you afraid you're going to keep writing for your whole life and you're never again going to create a book that anybody in the world cares about at all, ever again?
I will never forget that winter morning as I watched our girls, just 7 and 10 years old, pile into those black SUVs with all those big men with guns. And I saw their little faces pressed up against the window, and the only thing I could think was, what have we done?
I hope that after watching those clips, you will shift your idea about storytelling and you will feel more comfortable using stories in your presentations. But let me tell you a little bit science behind that. So what we're going to do is I'll tell you why stories work. Yes, so what's in the stories that actually triggers us so much and what makes them work. And also I will tell you how you can find your stories, because for so many of us will think that, oh, that's great, but I don't have any stories. Nothing happens to me. That's wrong, and I'll show you how today. A Princeton professor of psychology and neuroscience, Uri Hasson, studied people's brains when they shared stories. He has found out that when people listen to a story, the same parts of their brains light up. It means that they experience the same feelings and emotions. They play the same images and the same movies in their heads, which means that they are going through the same experience, which ultimately brings them closer to each other. They're going through the same journey together, and that's important. That's why stories bring people closer, because they create the common ground for them. The second important thing is that stories turn boring facts into something relatable to your audience. Because when you share a story, you create that emotional charge. In one of the videos, I talked about how to make a great story, and one of the tools and elements to great storytelling is a challenge. A good story always has a challenge. So if there is a challenge and there are characters who are going through that challenge, we feel and experience that journey together with a character. This creates an emotional charge. The emotions become stronger, and that's why people can relate, because they experience it, they can feel it, and eventually they understand the story and the meaning and the messages that you have in the story on a much more profound and deeper level. And finally, stories inspire people to action. A researcher, Paul Zak, found that stories cause the brain to produce oxytocin, a chemical related to feelings of empathy and a desire to cooperate. So imagine this: if you generate empathy in your audience and you generate that desire to cooperate, it is so much easier to inspire them to take that action that you want them to take. So now you may think, I understand that storytelling is amazing, but I don't have any stories. I don't have any stories to share and I'm not a good storyteller. So first of all, if you need help with creating a good story, then make sure you check out this video about 5 important tools on how to create a memorable story. And also, you need to do this important thing. You need to start noticing stories in your life. It's not that you don't have stories, it's that we are not in the right mindset of noticing them. So how do you notice a great story? So I'm pretty sure every day something happens that could be potentially a story. To notice a story, pay attention to your feelings. If you experience some sort of feeling, if something moves you emotionally, there is 100% a story over there. So pay attention to your feelings throughout the day. What causes you to feel in a certain way? And take that feeling and think, what happened that generated that feeling? And then write it down. And I guarantee you that you will have a bank of stories in your notebook. Make a separate notebook. Just write down the stories that happen to you on a daily basis. And you can also put them in an alphabetical order or based on different topics, main ideas, lessons learned from that story. And so later, when you have a presentation coming up and you're preparing for that, just grab the bank of your stories, look through all of them and pick the one that suits your topic. Get into the habit of noticing the stories and writing them down. Congratulations! So now you know why stories are important and how to find your story. I encourage you to speak with stories. Transform the experience of your listeners. Make your speeches and presentations memorable, engaging, and unforgettable with the power of storytelling. If you like this video, make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. And I can't wait to share more secrets about public speaking and communication with you. I'll see you in the next video.